Other than my immediate family, I can count on one hand the friends I've had in my lifetime. One of those would be Frank Psota. I met Frank in 1955 when I was looking for a local dentist for the family. We had recently moved from Chicago to Palatine. While he was probing my mouth for the first time, I asked him if Psota was a Baltic name, and he said, "No, it's Bohemian." Right then and there, my cup runneth over, because half of the blood coursing through my veins was Bohemian. When he found out I was Bohemian, he asked me if I knew what Bohemian matched luggage was. I said no, and he said 2 shopping bags. I knew I had found a soulmate. Frank and I shared a large appetite for things mechanical and electronic. While I was satisfied to build a Heathkit FM receiver, Frank would build stereo equipment that almost filled the living room of their first home on Patton in Arlington Heights. I imagine that was a big reason Eloise pushed for their much larger home on Donald. In 1957, Frank talked me into joining the choir at the Presbyterian Church in Arlington Heights. He recorded one of our practice sessions in stereo, which was fairly new at that time, and I remember being blown away listening to it on the 2 5-foot-high speakers in his living room. Here's a sample of that recording. In the garage on Donald, he built an old Bugatti racing car and an airplane that he flew out of the Palwaukee Airport. Frank was a B-17 pilot during the war, and here he is in a radio interview describing his experiences as a pilot, and also talking about when he was a guard at the University of Chicago Atomic Laboratory in 1942.
I went in the service. I was at the University of Chicago. I was a campus policeman, and I got to go to 2 routes through all the buildings of the university, and I got to do all of them. And I had tremendous experiences. One day they said just before I went in the service, they said I was going to guard the West Stands at Stagg Field. And I said, well, what's in the West Stands? And they said, well, you just, they gave me a .45 pistol. And I said, well, I didn't know I could shoot, expert pistol, rifle shot. And he says, just keep the kids out. I says, I need a gun to keep the kids out? You know what kind of kids you got around here? Well, so I went in and I walked through the place, and in the handball courts, the buildings are gone now, but the handball courts, they had benches set up with oscilloscopes and all sorts of stuff. And in the daytime, in the morning, all the atomic scientists came in, had to sign in with me. Enrico Fermi, Oppenheim, Compton, all of them. And it was really, really exciting, you know. And I took it. Well, I was walking around, and hush, hush, and so I'm walking around, and I walk inside the handball court, the big supply room, and here they're making a room out of carbon bricks. And some old carpenter was making them on the sly, see. So I'm walking in and out of this room, which turned out to be the atomic bomb. Like another interesting thing was, I almost didn't get in the Air Force because they said I was colorblind. I have a red-green color confusion. Well, as it turned out, they missed a bet because we were flying over Germany, and I figured it was by Leipzig or somewhere. And I looked down and I said, "My God, look at that! All that big factory complex." And they said, they got houses on the roof, and they got cars, they got fake roads and fake trees. I says, that camouflage wouldn't fool anybody. And the other guy's looking, I don't see anything. See my color confusion. I could see that. In fact, I saw the camouflage over the factories in California too. It was funny, roads and trees and houses, but for me, I could see in a second it was a. So I reported it. So they marked out where we were, and they bombed that place, and then they gave me a Hasselblad camera to carry, and anytime I saw something, I was supposed to take pictures of it. See, it seemed like going over the missions. We had some of the top missions. Like we went on the second round robin to Russia. We bombed in East Germany. And from Russia we bombed Ploesti twice, and went on to over Yugoslavia. Went on to Italy. So we met the Black Squadron, the fighters. And they're on the air, and one says, "Hey, John, you go get that." He says, "What do you want? That's not my." "Yes, it is. Go on, you go on." "No." "Oh, okay." So he only shot a German down. They were good. They were.
You'd be so nice to come home to. You'd be so nice by the fire, while the breeze on high sang a lullaby. I'm gonna buy a paper doll that I can call my own, a doll that other fellows cannot steal. And then the flirty, flirty guys with their flirty, flirty eyes. I'm making believe that you're in my arms, though I know you're so far away. Making believe I'm talking to you. Wish you could hear what I say. My darling, and say you will always be mine. You always break the kindest heart with a hasty word you can't recall. So if I broke your heart last night, gonna take a sentimental journey. Gonna set my heart at